The air, water, earth, and sun awes us. The four awesome forces of nature can provide 1,000 times more energy than we need. You are also awesome. You and me and all Earthkind are the fifth element. We are literally changing the world. Technology is now harnessing nature's awesome power for electricity, heat, and transportation. And the best news is that the clean energy transition can save us money and create a more prosperous, just, beautiful, and sustainable civilization today.
Well, welcome, Jenny Cross, to the Awesome Earthkind podcast. Pleasure to have you. If you would, please introduce yourself, who you are, what's your title, what do you do for National Grid?
Sure. Hi. Thanks for having me. My name is Jennifer Cross. I do go by Jenny, so feel free to call me Jenny. I'm a senior program manager for National Grid's Electric Products Program, as well as the New York State Clean Heat Statewide Heat Pump Program.
Wonderful. And we ask sometimes if folks have we call them a quantum quote, just an inspirational quote that helps set people's mindsets. So would you have one to care to share?
Yeah, I mean, the one quote I try to remind myself is that it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop.
Doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you keep moving. That's great. Wow. Great quote.
Yeah,
You
we got a lot of work ahead of us, so keep moving.
Absolutely.
Confucius.
It was Confucius? Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great quote. Well, we like to start with why. So why is National Grid involved with this, and why are you personally involved in the programs?
Sure. So National Grid is committed to shaping a sustainable economy for all. And they go about doing this by partnering with others in our industry, as well as others from outside of our industry, because it's our responsibility to move towards clean energy. National Grid's joining the B Team, which is a movement of global business leaders driving better ways of doing business for the well-being of the people and the planet. The Team B's principles of sustainability, equality, and accountability will help inform our actions. And then we'll be able to share our approach with others too and have that collaborative effort. National Grid also supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, where we can focus on areas to make a difference. So it's really important to National Grid to play that responsible role with our energy.
And how about you?
And you asked me about me.
Yeah, why are you involved in all this stuff?
Sure. So for me personally, I was introduced to energy efficiency when I was going to school for architecture. The concept piqued my interest, and my involvement, just organically came after that. I did start at National Grid about 4 years ago, and I was with our commercial and industrial energy efficiency program. The opportunity came up to manage our New York State Clean Heat Statewide Heat Pump Program, and that was a very exciting opportunity to get a chance to work with all of the electric utilities in New York State and NYSERDA and create this statewide offering to help reduce, our goals of our health. Sorry about that. But reducing our carbon emissions and helping to reach those goals.
Great. So what kind of clean energy actions is National Grid involved with?
Yeah, for a little background, so National Grid is committed to achieve net zero by 2050. And we'll do this by reducing greenhouse gas emissions from our own operations, 80% by 2030, 90% by 2040, and net zero by 2050 compared to the 1990 baseline. We also plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions for the electricity and gas that we sell to our customers 20% by 2030 from a 2018 baseline, and then reaching net zero again by 2050. Most of the markets in which we operate have announced net zero carbon reduction targets. So we do anticipate further legislation and embrace the opportunity to play our role in helping achieve these challenging goals. And have developed frameworks to achieve this by focusing on several areas, but to give a couple examples, one is the effort to reduce SF6, which is a sulfur hexafluoride emission, and it's used in electric networks for its insulating properties. Unfortunately, though, it is a very potent greenhouse gas. So since 2000, we've reduced our SF6 emissions by 80%, and we've committed to installing no new equipment using SF6 by 2028, reducing total leaks by 50% by 2030, and to go ahead and eliminate all SF6 gas from our assets by 2050. So again, that net zero by 2050. We are working to find new technologies and solutions to achieve this target through work partners from across the sector to identify, develop, and implement these solutions at the earliest opportunity. And then another example of this effort is advancing the clean transportation. So transportation, as many people know, contributes to approximately 40% of greenhouse gas emissions. And we're dedicated to assisting our states and customers in reducing those. We'll continue to proactively promote EV adoption and EV charging infrastructure. And then internally, we plan to move to 100% electric fleet by 2030 for our light duty vehicles, as well as to replace our medium and heavy duty vehicles with zero carbon alternatives. But it doesn't stop there. National Grid is also looking to achieve zero carbon emissions from our business air travel. So from 2020 onwards, annual air miles traveled will be reduced by 50% from a 2019 baseline, and will be offset by remaining emissions responsibly. So we're really dedicated to reaching these goals and taking our own accountability.
Fantastic. So in addition to all that other great work, buildings, thermal heating and cooling is another huge chunk of the greenhouse gas emissions. And you guys have this whole clean heat program that's part of the statewide effort. And could you talk about that and what the goals are and what kind of incentives are there, in particular for geothermal, the most efficient form of heating and cooling?
Sure. So the goals for this program, we have quite ambitious goals at National Grid. Over 1.1 million MMBTU savings by the end of 2025. And as you mentioned, we'll be doing this through offering incentives. They'll be available on our cold climate air source, whether it's a centrally ducted system or a mini split. And of course, ground source heat pumps and heat pump water heaters. And the exciting part about this program is that it's available to all of our electric customers, regardless of the building sector. So residential customers, multifamily, new construction, small business, commercial and industrial, we'll work with you to find a solution. Of course, as you mentioned, the ground source heat pumps are the most efficient. So love seeing projects like those come in. Mostly we see those with new construction because it is a good prime time, but new construction is certainly welcome to participate and bring them along. The incentives that we offer for this program, we have over $84 million to work with incentives through 2025. We have our geothermal or the ground source does have the highest incentive. It generally has the highest upfront cost, but it works out most efficiently for customers in the long run. So if that investment is, able to be made, we certainly encourage it. But just on average, if a customer was installing, a mini split, you can see on average about a $400 savings per unit, $3,000 once you're going into a central, system with air source heat pumps to heat your home. And then ground source can get, our average customers are seeing around $7,000. So really helps to bring down that upfront cost. And it's important to note also that customers can still take advantage of federal tax credits. So, there's more money available to help customers reach this equipment, and certainly encourage them to take a look.
Yeah, so $7,000 off the top for a geothermal system, significantly less, but still there for air source systems, which are cheaper. But then on the ground source heat pumps, you also get the 26% federal tax credit, which is more than a quarter off of the top as well, so that you get that back in your tax credits. And as long as people always check with their tax advisor to make sure they can take those credits,
Yeah.
what you're looking at is an incentive that brings the price down by probably about half or so, right? So not bad.
Yeah. And instead of installing two systems, AC and heating, you're installing one. So, there's certainly other benefits that to take into consideration of making this investment.
Yeah, in addition to net zero environmental impact in terms of emissions and greenhouse gases, there's indoor air quality benefits that you get, and and then the comfort is just, you have a much more comfortable home or building actually with these technologies, which is fantastic. Great. So when people want to access the programs with National Grid, how do they find out, or how do they get it, and where can people find information?
Yeah, so we have, our home website where customers can look to see all of the offerings that National Grid has, whether they're electric or gas customers, again, varying through building sector for residential, multifamily, small business, and commercial. So to hit that, general welcome, go to nationalgridus.com. And then if you really want to learn more about our heat pumps, which of course we love, you can go directly to ngrid.com /NYS-clean heat. So it's ngrid.com /NYS-clean heat.
Fantastic. Hey, if we like to ask if there's one, we call them a supernova, but one tip, tool, tactic that you think people need to know, but generally don't. So if there is one, would you care to share?
Well, I think it's just, really trying to drive home, the geothermal heat pumps are highly effective. They make use of available heat that's already stored within the earth. They use 25 to 50% less electricity to run when compared to conventional heating and cooling systems. And a great time to look into installing a new heat pump system is when your current heating and or cooling systems are coming to the end of their life, when you're undergoing home renovations, which I know many people are spending a lot of time at home these days and digging into new projects, or if you're building new construction, that's, you're already there, you're already digging. It's certainly a great time to look into those opportunities. But I just love driving home the fact that geothermal is really taking existing heat that is, it's stored in the ground. It's working less to serve you well. So I think that's important.
Oh, it's tremendously important. Yeah. I mean, so for billions of years, half of the energy from the sun goes into the earth, and it's right there. That energy is right beneath our feet, and just going digging down, we can tap into that energy and then bring it back up to heat and cool our buildings, which is pretty incredible. And yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
The fact that you're right. In new construction, it's really a no-brainer. You're already mobilizing people and materials and digging holes and foundations and such. So to dig another hole for a geothermal well, not a big deal, and just an incremental cost. And then when you're doing any sort of renovations or your end of life on your existing heating or cooling system, makes total sense as well. And when you take a look at the economics, one thing that always is amazing to me is that if you heat with oil and propane, you can now structure the financing so you're in the cash flow from day one, saving money right away on, even if it's just a retrofit, which to me is pretty amazing. So yeah, great opportunities. Fantastic. Hey, so what's one thing you're most energized about today, Jenny?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a really exciting time. And New York State has very ambitious goals. National Grid is doing a lot to take, responsibility of their portion or what they can control of reaching these goals. Climate change is, essentially the greatest challenge that's facing us all, and I'm just happy to be involved. I'm happy to be working with this program and across the state, and it is certainly a lot of work and energizing, and I'm proud of it.
And well, you should be. And it's so great to see you guys involved, and got $80 million worth of incentives to help people make this happen. And boy, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. If people want to get a hold of you, and a piece of parting advice, if you would.
So if you want to get a hold of me, shoot me an email, jennifer.cross@nationalgrid.com. And parting advice, I guess I'll just go back, to that initial quote where it doesn't matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop. There's a lot of work ahead of us, and we've got to take, those small steps to get there. So just be proud of those small steps and just don't stop. Keep going.
Incremental progress is the way we get there, right? So the
turtle,
the tortoise and the hare, right? So keep moving. You never know how far you'll go. And yeah, wonderful thing. Well, thank you so much, Jenny. Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to cover?
No, I really appreciate it. Visit National Grid. Visit our website, check out what's available, learn about our heat pumps. And feel free to reach out to me with questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today, awesome people. We'd like to hear from you, and we'll give you the chance to win a $150 LED light fixture if you help us understand how Awesome Earthkind can help you achieve your clean energy goals. Just go to awesomeearthkind.com and click on Tell Us. When you fill out the survey, you'll automatically be entered into a sweepstakes for a free LED light fixture, and we'll be giving one away every month for the rest of the year. If you like what we're doing, please rate and review the Awesome Earthkind podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're interested in adding clean energy consulting to your existing business offerings, go to awesomeearthkind.com/earn. When you refer us to a commercial building and they decide to go clean and save green with Earthkind Energy's consulting services, your referral will save money and you'll earn finder's fees worth thousands of dollars. Remember, you are an awesome force of nature and can make a real difference. Take your next step to create the clean energy future we all want and our children need and deserve. Until next time, take care, be well, and energize.